Egypt, land of mystery and great kings and the greatest monuments and temples ever built by the human hand. Century after century of great building by thousands and thousands of slaves. Yes, many monuments, but who was the designer, who was the architect behind these great monuments under the reign of the great Rameses the Builder? Today we will interview this great man, and you will see his true power under Rameses.
And now today we have that famous Egyptian which may not be so famous to you. Yes, we are not going to present to you a famous pharaoh like Ramses or Akhenaten or even King Tut today. No, we're going to introduce someone who's behind the scenes in ancient Egypt, behind the great monuments built by Rameses II, his chief architect, Isaya. And Isaya is going to tell us his relationship with Rameses and with the other members of the court. If you please, Isaya, thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. For as you know, and as your history dictates, I was not so very much appreciated in my day. No, fortunately not. The architects were mere workmen. And even though my association with Rameses was very close, even intimate, oh, I see, yes, I did not achieve the recognition that a pharaoh would, who was a god. Oh, I see. Well, therefore, I think it is very important in this interview to establish that I was actually the builder behind the great Rameses. Yes, it was my designs and my architectural plans that convinced Rameses that I was the best architect in ancient Egypt, perhaps in the ancient world at that time. Oh, I see, yes. The monuments were not easy to construct, of course. It took many months, years. However, with my plans and my drawings, my designs, they went as smoothly as the ancient world could accommodate. Yes, as you can see, I had a very stern expression, because I, in fact, not only designed but oversaw the work. Oh, I see. Then you were sort of a foreman, weren't you? Yes, you might call it that. And I had to inflict many great punishments on lazy workers, because we did have them. Yes, they recognized Ramses as a god, and that was only right. And they served him because they knew if they built the pyramid and other monuments that they themselves would secure a place in the afterlife with the pharaoh. Oh, of course. Well, that was quite an incentive, I must say. And now, if you could you give us a description of Ramses? Well, you know what he looks like. Actually, that isn't what he looked like in the monuments that I built for him, for I idealized him, of course, as most Egyptian statues were. However, he was a very moody man and the most tyrannical in his own right. And he was obsessed with power. He was also obsessed with the notion of having each individual in the kingdom recognize him as a god and serve him. And though he could not be physically present, he could, my statues, represent the god among them. Oh, I see, yes, and create a sense of omniscience and omnipresence, which made the people fear him and obey him, and even suffer and die for him, as they lifted the great stones and carried them to the many temples we built. I, myself, was not afraid of him, not really, but I knew he was as human as I and anyone else. However, I did treat him as a god when I was in public. It was only right. We wanted to establish that he was all-powerful, and that is how we got many thousands of Egyptians to leave their farms and come in and build the great monuments that you see today, and many more that haven't survived. Oh, I see. And I am the man who was behind all of it. You must believe that. I am the great genius of Rameses the Builder. And I want to thank you for listening to me and letting me tell the world that it is I who created the monuments of ancient Egypt. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much for your thoughts. We really do appreciate your coming and telling us all about this Thank you. Thank you. And goodbye.